All right. Good evening, good people. Welcome to Talk Tuesday, a series dedicated to empowering youth and families. This series is brought to you by Steps Foundation, Inc., where advocacy meets education for the betterment of young minds. Each month, we explore meaningful topics designed to inspire growth, spark creativity, and equip our listeners with tools that they need to thrive. I'm Abigail Ellis, your executive director here at Steps Foundation Inc. And this month, we're diving into a topic that every person faces at some point in their life, but few really talk about it openly, and that's rejection. So, whether it's a relationship that didn't work out, not making the team, being turned down for an opportunity, or feeling left out, rejection hurts. But what if we could see it not as a reflection of our worth, but as a moment to grow, reflect, and to build resiliency? Rejection doesn't have to stop us, but it can shape us. And it can point us in a new direction, strengthen our self worth, and remind us that our value is not defined by who says no to us, but how we say yes to ourselves. This February, we're learning how to face rejection with courage, protect our peace, and turn every closed door into a step towards a better one. Whether you're a teen, a parent, or just someone figuring it out, you are not your setbacks. You're your strength, your bounce back, your next bold step. So we're going to get into it because your comeback story starts here. I'm passing it over to Anastasia, where she's going to start our questions.
Hi, everyone. The first question I have is, how does the brain respond to social rejection?
Ooh, well, that's a good starter question. Like immediate shutdown typically happens. Like that's how the brain responds. Like the minute somebody hears or feels like they're being rejected, people typically tend to shut down. So like the brain's response is retreat, is how I feel. And so I definitely see where a lot of people shy away from things or even they become fearful of trying that very thing again because they've already been rejected once. And so I think to me, like, and based off things that I've seen, that oftentimes the brain goes into shutdown.
I have two possible answers for this.
Like,
One of them is obsession. You
oh,
become overly obsessed with that person. You will not leave them alone. You study them closely. You get on their case and not leave their side. Like you will be overly attached to try to get them to like you, but it's only making things worse. And then the second one is recovery. You try to bring it back to what it was, maybe try to repair what it could be, or try to keep things the same level just with that knowledge now that you got it off. And I've seen both happen.
those are great insights, especially when thinking about like on a relationship level. That yeah, the two of those things can definitely be something that happens within the mindset.
I agree. That's definitely true, especially the obsession and then the acceptance part. I feel like coming from whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a goal that you have, when you get rejected, you feel like an ultimate failure and you feel like everything around you doesn't matter because the one thing that you were hoping for didn't come to plan. So yeah, I could definitely agree with that. It becomes a little bit obsessive because it's like it's not the end of the world, but you feel like it is. And then the accepting part comes in, it's okay. It's normal. You can try again, or it just wasn't for you. So I like that.
I think it's that we as humans, we really want to have that sort of acceptance in either a community or a position, and to feel like, oh, if I get rejection, that means there's something wrong with me, either externally or internally. So, like, we really want that sense of either community with a relationship or with a job position, or, when you send out your applications for colleges and you don't get the one that you wanted. So you feel like you get into your mindset where it's just like, what is wrong with me as a person? What have I not done to prove myself? Especially if you worked really hard for something, or you feel like in a relationship wise, oh, I've been this person, I like this person so much. I've been there for them from A to Z, but they rejected me at the end of the day. So it's hard not to internalize that rejection, and you have to just find healthy ways to accept that rejection because, as much as we want to be accepted, we also have to accept the rejection and then not let it deter us to try another relationship, to try another friendship, another college, another job application.
I love that. You just did it right. You just did it right there. I really like that. Internally is important just as much as externally. I love that. Okay. Well, why is it important to talk about rejection instead of hiding it?
Look, hiding is only gonna make the problem worse. If you try to hide it, those feelings build up, and you gotta get them out at some point, or else it's just gonna keep building up, and eventually all that pressure is gonna explode like a soda bottle. You keep shaking it. If you keep shaking it, when is it gonna explode? You go at the bottom. That pressure is the things that you are feeling. All that rejection is making you feel a certain type of way. If you build up too much pressure trying to hide it over time, that pressure is gonna build up. And when it
That's
builds up,
true.
it only makes things worse for you and that person. Because
Mhm.
now that person don't know how you feel and they don't know how to help you or at least try to like be there for you in the way that you need. And if they're not trying to do that for you in the first place, like clearly that relationship wasn't gonna work out. Like
Mm.
if they don't care for you at that level, so you gotta talk about that.
So are you saying would it be best to talk about it to that person or talk about it to someone, like a friend, a
Like
family?
either
Okay.
one, have someone that can support you. Like if they can support you, that could probably be more effective,
Mm-hmm.
depending on that person.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Especially for teens because emotional maturity is not common. And when you are rejected from a person who is rejecting, you are probably coming from an immature spot or a spot where you're not trying to be rude and you're trying to set boundaries. But from the person that is being rejected, you're coming from a place of they don't like you and you're not a good person or anything like that, anything negative. So yeah, I think talking about it to a family member or a friend who can relate to it, who's experienced it, is way better than hiding it, but it is harder to say. Well, it's harder to do than say it because when you're in that moment you shut down and it's not something that you want to talk about because it's a form of embarrassment and nobody wants to hear I didn't get the job, the girl rejected me, the guy rejected me. Yes, it becomes fear of what someone will say. Yes, Abby, it definitely is true. You become a little bit like, I just don't want to be embarrassed. Like I don't want to be laughed at. It's like I don't want nobody to. I don't want any more rejection that I already gotten. So yeah, I think it's just important to take baby steps with it because talking about it freshly is already a wound that you don't want to touch. I personally go to my mom about it because if anybody's gonna laugh at me, it's got to be my mama. I can't have no friends laugh at me. It has to be my mom, like because she already told me before it happened. So I already got to talk to her about it. But yeah, a family member that you trust, I think it's super important to talk to them about it.
I
I
love, I
also
love,
think,
oh, yes, come on,
sorry,
Abby. Come on.
I think that it's like important to talk about it like with everyone because everyone deals with it. So I feel like it'll make everyone feel less alone, not just yourself, and show other people that it does happen. And like maybe they'll be more prepared for when it happens and not just immediately shut down.
I feel okay. Hold on, because my team's coming in here to cook today. I see. Abby, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this money in the collection plate for you because I see you, boo. I see you. Boom. Okay, listen. I'm loving what you guys are saying. And I love the question in general because again, we go back to that first question you asked and how I'm like, yeah, the brain immediately puts you in shutdown mode when you get rejected. And now hearing like as we're talking about where do you go? How do you let it out? And we know one thing that not even just teens, but adults too. And I love that you said like the emotional maturity, right? It is so hard for people to talk about feelings of rejection because it involves feelings. So now you're dealing with people being able to one, name their emotion, and two, share that emotion with someone else and hopefully not feel judged for the emotion that they're feeling. And it is a very difficult thing to do, even when you have trusted people. So I know sometimes, like, even when you're talking to a parent that you feel like you trust, there's still that fear, that little piece of insecurity that tells you, if I tell them this, and I love how you said it, Anastasia, because if anybody gonna laugh at me, it's gonna be my mama. That's the only person I'm gonna accept laughing at my pain right now. And that's real. That is so real. We know who we're willing to accept that from, and we know where we feel safe enough to kind of open up and share those things. But some people don't have that. And so I feel like in cases where you don't like you're not ready to like open up and say it out loud, write it down. And it doesn't matter what you write it on. Write it down because at least it's a way for you to open up and get it out of your system. Because I'm gonna go back to Lamar when he used that analogy about that shaken soda bottle because it's real. Like we use that in terms of anger, but that can also be in terms of rejection because when you get rejected enough times and you hold it inside, you become angry and you become angry at other people when it's not their fault. But because you're having self-doubt and you're having self-esteem issues because of the rejection that's built up, you start to channel that anger and you're letting it out in other spaces where you may not even mean to let it out at. So start writing it down. Write down what you're feeling, how you're feeling, why you're feeling it, how you even got there, what made that embarrassing for you, or what made that hurt. Because now we got to talk about the hurt behind it. When you do that, like again, you're not talking to a person directly, but it's a way to channel that energy. And if you need to, rip it up and throw it away when you're done. Nobody ever has to see it. You did a thing, it's done. And if you got to do it every day until you start to feel better, do that. But if you don't feel like you have that person that can laugh with you or help you to feel better about the situation, start writing it out.
Oh,
Look,
I will also say, I will also say, like, try to strive, like, just not being the person that has going through the rejection, but always strive to be that person, to be willing that you can be that person there for the person who got rejected. So you always feel like you can be that person because one of the things about rejection, it is a universal feeling. It's not like it's only specifically for certain religion groups or cultures or nationalities or genders or sexes. It's a rejection is something that everyone feels. So it's like people feel embarrassed to talk about rejection because then they'll feel like, oh, if I tell this to this person, they'll also start thinking that same way too about me. So it can be an embarrassing feeling, but always strive to be that person that people can come to you, and as long as all boundaries are, respected, but just to make the world better, because one good action could cause a good reaction, and that's how positivity is spread.
look, I love that. And what I'm about to say is gonna be interesting. But now let's get into the root of that cause. Let's say after that hurt, right? You healed, you gotten a little bit better. Let's dive deeper into that situation. What caused it? Because rejection ultimately goes into that fear and that anger. You have the fear of being rejected again. You have fear of feeling like a failure. And that fear comes from hurt. They are intermixed when you are rejected. Let's say you're rejected from that job and you now have fear that you're not good enough for that job. You now have fear that you're not good enough for other jobs. But now you're hurt because you didn't get that job because that was the job you was looking for. And same thing with relationships. So let's dive deeper into what that hurt was. Let's dive deeper into that root cause. Because once we dive deeper into that root cause, we can figure out where we can improve on what was the real cause of it, how to improve and do better.
I love this self reflection.
I
Mm-hmm.
like it too. I like this too. Awareness is all around
Yes,
this
yes.
stream right now.
Self
Okay.
reflection is such a real thing too, because I think sometimes we don't spend enough time self reflecting either. And Lamar, I feel you when you say like let's get to the root cause. Let's figure out like the why, because you're hurting, but why are you really hurting? Are you hurting because you're embarrassed about the job, or are you hurting because you feel like you weren't good enough for the job? Are you hurting because they just said no and you wanted it really bad? Are you hurting because so like figuring out like you're hurting because of what, and really pinpointing that why in order to know what to do with it. Where can you channel that energy and turn that why into a self-improvement? And sometimes it's just not even meant to be honest. It's nothing that you did wrong. It's not even always you. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. And there's your why.
Where one door closes, another
Come
door
on.
opens.
Come on.
Yep. Yep.
Look,
This
this is
is really nice.
one of my favorite quotes from a song. Sometimes you gotta close the door to open a window. Sometimes you gotta think outside the box. Go
Yep.
outside that box. Open that window.
Yep.
We don't need doors in here.
Yep. Let's put some more money on that tray. I like this. Okay. Well, since we're on that topic of what's the root cause, what are the common types of rejection? Because we're talking about relationships, we're talking about jobs, but there's more than that, you know? I feel like when people talk about rejection, they go straight to relationships, but I know there's so much more. Speaking from a college student, oh, there is so much more. I have no time for no relationship. I got time for a job, an assignment, activity, everything, people. So, what are some types of rejections that people face? Teens, adults, parents.
Passive rejection. Now let me explain. Let me explain because I know. Look, Lamar, do you know what passive rejection is?
I feel like I have an idea. I don't fully know, but it sounds pretty bad.
It's not, but this is that when people actively ignore you.
And that's what I thought it was. And I'm hurting just by hearing that because I know
Right.
people that go through that every day. It
Or
sucks.
when people like intentionally just leave you out because they don't want to be bothered by you. So that's a form of rejection, and I feel like sometimes it's overlooked because people are like, "Oh, well they just don't want to be bothered." Well, there's a way of communicating that you don't want to be bothered other than just ghosting a person, right? Or doing your best due diligence to actively avoid them without telling them the why. And so this is where it also leads to that feeling of insecurity for the person that's being rejected because they feel like I'm not good enough and nobody ever had the conversation with me that I'm doing a thing wrong, or maybe I'm being annoying, or maybe they just don't want to be friends with me. And instead of telling me that, you kind of just passively walk by as if nothing is wrong, but something is wrong. And I feel like that is a form of rejection that we see most often, pretty much every day by individuals. And these aren't just teens, adults do it too, instead of having a conversation. And I feel like that's one of the most common forms of rejection that we see.
Look, here's another one. Social rejection. Look, that social rejection, especially in the with them teenagers, it is more prone to happen and it has more effect happening. Um, Social rejection, you are in a group, you not letting nobody else in that group, you only kicking them out and you only replace, you have a maximum number. When someone is not let in your group, it can hurt them, especially when they're in that middle ground. That is the worst. When someone like you're close enough to them where they could be in the main circle, but you're always pushing them away, so they're stuck in a middle ground where they can never be a part of something. It's it's awkward and it feels bad because to that person, they're thinking, why am I not here? Clearly, I'm not good enough to be here. That's exactly what it is. Or just straight up pushing them away and passive. That passive will go hand in hand with that social. Depends on who
Because
you get with.
that's where your clicks come in. So like
Exactly.
so when you get those social groups where they're so tight knit, they automatically push others out, or that's where bullying comes. When other groups start to bully other groups, right? Because all of that is a form of rejection too, like rejecting a person. I 100% agree with you, Lamar. I 100% agree.
It's like
I
a
also agree.
yeah, me too. And it's like one of those situational things where like you become a situational friend, like they keep you around for certain reasons. Like um I can use an example like if you have a really nice house, or once you hit high school, you're in that sophomore, junior year, and you have the ability to drive a car. Oh, you're the first one with the car. So let me just, attach myself to you. But, we really want you for the car, not for anything that you yourself as a person have to offer. And at that point, it's okay to set boundaries for yourself. It's healthy. Sometimes it's okay to be by yourself and then find people who want you for and just be by yourself for a while than having to struggle with being in a relationship or in a friendship where you're constantly feeling rejected. It's healthier for you, and at the same time you're making yourself more respectable by having those boundaries.
Yes. Yes. Can you pick me up some McDonald's?
Get me some Burger King on the way. Like, be
Yes.
so honest.
Yes.
Come on, don't play. Y'all know, look, y'all know them kids be doing that in high school. Oh, you got a car. Can you pick me up some McDonald's on your way? Oh, you gonna get out early. You mind driving across the street to Wawa and bring me back a sandwich? You don't even talk to me.
Exactly. No, my mama has me on like
Look,
360.
look,
No,
I'll tell you,
sorry.
it's worse in middle school when you try to bring stuff because, like, it might have been like last week. My friend gave me a bag of chips, right? I would eat it at where y'all picked me up. This girl really came up to me and told me, I've known you forever, like we best friends. I'm like, girl, you barely even talk to me. We haven't talked since like November.
That's okay. You got chips. Hey, friend.
I ain't giving you none.
Oh, you
You over
rude.
here trying to use me for my food. Look, look, come on, friend. Come on, you get some. Look, I will give some to my friends, not no random person that's trying to be my friend because I got food. That is not what we doing. See, and
He
guess
said you go get your own food.
go literally what I told him.
I would do the
Go get your
same.
own.
I would do the
See,
That's a
same.
real thing.
That is a real thing. No, no, I
That
don't know
is
you.
a
Sorry.
real thing.
That is
I was
very
assertive with
real.
my note too.
I bet you would.
I like how all these rejections like form together.
Yes.
But one of the things that I haven't been hearing is self-rejection. That
Mm-hmm.
is a very big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it also stems with social, family, relationship, jobs, because if you are not secure within yourself, And being okay with hearing no or being okay with being left out, yes, it does hurt. But if you're not secure within yourself, that gets deeper into your feelings, into your spirit. I can say for me, um, I could give you an example as far as like sports, being faced with discrimination was always a big thing for me. But I took that in for myself. Like, I'm just not good enough. People just don't like me. I'm not having my hair this way. I'm not acting this way. But it wasn't me, it was them. I knew I was that girl, but I did not know I was that girl. So I had to take a lot of self reflection and a lot of isolation and go, it's okay. Like, you are pretty, you are beautiful, you are smart, you are athletic. And over time, when they would say something, I don't care. I don't even hear you. I'm hearing what's going on with the game. Over time, when it came to jobs, oh, you rejected me? That's okay. I'm in this wonderful foundation now. Okay. It doesn't matter. Stuff like that. Even with a professor ignores me, but they'll talk to another student. That is okay. I can go to ChatGPT. You are not bothering me, sir or ma'am. So it's like stuff like that. When you no longer give those people an ounce of you, that rejection doesn't even feel like rejection. It's honestly like, okay, you're just like a fly in my ear. It doesn't even matter. So yeah, self rejection is one of the biggest things of rejection. It's like the ball of rejection.
Listen, I gotta reiterate. So my team, y'all heard what she said. I am
Look,
that girl. I'm gonna need y'all to remember that when y'all are facing stuff, okay? Abby, you are that girl. Lamar, you are that boy. Okay? Look,
hallelujah.
y'all are that. Okay?
You're
Remember
all
that.
that and a bag of chips.
Let's go. Let's go, Dana.
The bag of chips they try to steal off me. We ain't getting none. Go get your own. There's somebody selling it down at the corner. It's
Yeah.
$1. Go put your $1 up in there. Get you a bag of chips. Don't steal mine. You'll be all right.
Yeah, self-rejection is definitely one of the like because I always say like whatever anyone else says about me, I probably would have said worse about me in the past. Like I'm my own biggest critic. Like whatever you think you're seeing, I'm seeing 10 times over. As someone who like I'm from Puerto Rico originally, so I was born and then moved here, but it's like I'm too Puerto Rican for like American, but I'm too American for the Puerto Ricans. So it's like I'm in this weird in between and like culturally, because I like culturally Puerto Rico, at least with my family, it's very interdependent society or culture. And my in America, America is very independent. So like when I try to explain things to my American friends, and I'm just broad general American of different races, just American, like been here for generations, they don't understand like what my culture is when I tell them like, hey, like I can't just tell my mom to go away. I will if you want to see me the next day, that's not gonna happen. Um,
It's the same thing
but
with me too. It's okay. I get it.
but it's like I feel so isolated. When you have that self-rejection, you feel so isolated because you can't like explain to other people like what your situation is, so you feel all alone. But also I like to like I guess associate that also with neurodivergency. People can't like I understand when people are sometimes sarcasm just goes over my head like this, so I wouldn't understand. So social cues I wouldn't be able, like me or other people wouldn't be able to understand. So even so, like how we communicate as humans, because we're social creatures by nature, when you take that or you change it around from another person, then it's harder to like be with other people. So you create that connection, but it's hard to find that bridge between you and somebody else. So it's like it's okay to take time for yourself and understand and just be like, okay, this is who I am as a person. I can try to understand others and see where they're coming from, as long as they can understand where I'm coming from too. So it's like one of those things where you have to like you're at one point of the river and then the other person's at another point at the river, and you have to together build a bridge to meet somewhere in the middle. It's such a weird like brain vomit, but that's just me.
That
I
actually
picked
was
it
not
up.
weird at all. I
I picked
followed
it.
all of that.
Yeah,
I did too.
I got that. I
Yeah,
got
and,
that.
it-
I
and
was
it
like,
makes complete sense because it's true. Especially when we think about like the rejection in a cultural sense,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of cultural rejection, right, from one spot to another. And I love how you put it. Like I'm too Puerto Rican for my Puerto Rican friends, or too like too American for my Puerto Rican friends, too Puerto Rican for my American friends. So I'm like sitting just on the island in between what to do now. And I think that happens across a lot of cultures depending on where people come from. You're not good enough for one side, but you're still not good enough for the other side. And then somewhere in between, you got people who are like, "Oh, you're great just the way you are," but then it still feels like not enough people said you're great where you are. So where do I fit? And I think that plays a huge role in that self rejection, because then you start to question who you are as a person and where do you fit in with those people or those friends.
I am her. I'm she.
I am her.
yes, exactly. Yes, that's exactly it. We are her, we are she, we are
Yeah.
him, we are they, we are us. Like we're that person. It's just point period blank. We're you can actually like ask yourself, like, what are some things that you do whenever you're in that position of feeling rejected? Like, what are some, I wouldn't say signals, but like affirmations. What do you say to yourself when you're in
Mhm.
that position? So, like, what do you say when you get broken up? What do you say when you get an F on your test? What do you say when you get rejected from a job? What do you say when your boss yells at you or a coworker said something funny? Like, what do you do? What do you say?
I'm
We
good.
gonna be all right.
We
We
gonna
gonna
Hello.
be
be
okay.
all right.
We will be fine. You know why? Because there's always next time.
There's
You know,
always
I
a
got
time to
because there's
next.
prove to
always
yourself. Yeah.
different opportunities out there. There's always more opportunities for them out there.
It ain't
You
over
could.
until the lady sings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Look, and that lady ain't saying in no time soon.
Uh,
Lamar, like, I'm gonna take her mic.
Mm. Oh yeah, I'm stealing everything. I'm like Ursula. I'm stealing her voice.
Not Ursula.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
take that mic and just
Throw it like Cardi B. Mm-hmm. Gone. It's just this time we ain't hitting nobody.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Kanye
Yeah,
to
I'm,
Taylor
I'm with
Swift.
y'all. Oh my god,
I
I
love
love it.
that.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
believe in all of that. Like I'm a true affirmation person. So, when things go wrong, like we found the positive in that somewhere. So what is that positive? Tomorrow's a new day for us to start again. Like people have a bad day. Like bad days are given. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. And sometimes that bad day just happens to be the day that you were rejected for a thing. So tomorrow is a new day where you get up and you start again. And then where do you want to start when tomorrow comes? So start your day off with positivity, however that looks for you. So whether it's telling yourself, I look good when I look in the mirror, or whether it's we overcoming today, whether it's I'm letting go of what happened yesterday, figure out what that positive is and what it means to you. But try to start your day off with something positive.
Yes, I definitely agree. I usually say something like, at least I could get lunch. Like, at least that's over. Go get something to eat. That was too much. I'm gonna get something to eat. That just stressed me out. Yeah, I like to say something like that because it's like,
We
who
gonna take
doesn't
the 30
enjoy
minutes.
having a good Chipotle bowl? Who doesn't enjoy going to get some smoothies? Like, that can brighten somebody's day. I'm like, oh, thank God, let's go something to eat. I love that.
Some cookies.
Woo!
You know what really brighten your day?
Hmm.
A good 30-minute power nap.
But see, when you get older, Lamar, them power naps, whew, they catch up to you. You want to take a power nap, you're gonna take maybe 4 hours. You won't feel that good when you take a power nap. You're gonna wake up like, dang, I wish
That
I just
power nap
waited.
became full-fledged sleep.
Sleep. Like, let me just wait.
Oh, that's
I I
happening to me
get
now.
I get so irritated when I want to take a nap because I'm like, dang, I know when I take a nap, I'm gonna be so irritated because I want to go back to sleep.
True
Um,
story. True story.
but those are true because it depends on the person. Well, okay. But how can like rejection teach you who you are? Like how can it teach you about yourself? I can say for me, it teaches me more boundaries. Abby knows I'm a no person. If I don't like it, no. If I have something to say about it, I say it. It teaches me like what my limits are when it comes to a conversation or when it comes to a situation. I'll give y'all a little story. I was in a little mini thing with a organization and I was like, huh, this organization is a little bit weird. And I didn't know how to like express it because I didn't know the fundamentals about it. So I had to call Abby and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Can you let me know what's going on? Because I hate to be confused. And when I went back to the person, like they fired me. They were like, oh, we don't want you no more. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that taught me how I'm not going to do a position like that again. Instead, I would just ask a person that I trust when they're in this field. I'm going to ask that person like, okay, how do you feel about this? Instead of going about it myself and being uncomfortable. One thing I hate is being uncomfortable in a situation, and it makes me feel even more rejected when I get rejected. Like, dang, why didn't I leave when the moment was right there, you know? So that's something I learned is boundaries. I'm not going to sit up there and do it if I'm uncomfortable, if I don't like it, if it makes me feel weird, I'm just not going to touch it.
I love that you brought up like if it feels weird. So to that point, right? A lot of times we tend to ignore the feel weird feeling. And I, that's what we call that intuition. It happens, right? Where we'll be doing a thing and you just get that dreaded feeling of something's not right or something's gonna happen or whatever it is that you're feeling on the inside. And sometimes we ignore it. And then to her point, right? Then a thing happens and then it makes you feel as if you've been rejected because you kind of ignored that feeling. And then you start thinking about all the times you saw the signs and it makes you feel twice as bad, like she said. And you're kind of like, okay. How many of you have that like inner critic where then you go like, well, I was stupid for that? That is me. I am she. So this is where we now have to learn to talk better to ourselves as well. So rejection really is a learning opportunity, and I love that Anastasia said from that she learned how to be better at her boundary, like setting that boundary, making it clear, making it plain, and I love that. The only other thing that I say I would add is don't ignore your intuition ever. If you feel a thing, is you're feeling it for a reason, and sometimes you need to go with that gut feeling. Um, I'd also add talk it out. Talk it out with a trusted friend, talk it out with a family member. Talk it out. However that looks for you and whoever you feel comfortable doing it with. Just talk.
Look,
I agree. Yes, follow your intuition. That's very important. We don't do that a lot because we are known to red flags. Sometimes we do red flags ourselves. We're just like, hey, the opportunity is there, the opportunity is there. But like the saying goes, some things are just too good. Like you got to have discernment. You got to look at it. Because if you don't and you just walk through that bridge, you'll fall because you thought it was good. Like you thought you were safe, but stuff happens like
it's
that.
nothing.
Stuff definitely happens like that. But yes, I do encourage teens, adults, boundaries are super important because that goes with everything. Um, Rejection, situations, conversations, it goes with everything. But what are some signs that you're internalizing rejection in a harmful way?
You feel resentment towards that person.
Mm,
Look, because that resentment will go far, depending on how deep that resentment is. Like, you harbor a large amount of hate for that person because of the way they rejected you or that rejected you in general. Like, you will lock in on that person. You will prey on their downfall. You will do things that you would normally never do because of the way you feel about that person, which is incredibly negatively. Like, it's that it's that hate that you only feel every once in a while. And that hate again comes from fear. And that fear comes from hurt. You are harboring that resentment because you feel hurt. And you feel like that person caused it. And you are now fearing that hurt.
That's real. That's real, Lamar, and that's deep. It like it's deep on so many different levels because that is true. Like when you got that amount of resentment towards a person, that's when you know it's harmful. Because like to your point, you do start to do things that you would probably never do. I think another way, like when you know that it's something that's harmful, when you just can't let it go. So even if you're not angry and if you're not holding resentment, if everything that comes up leads you back to that moment of rejection, you just cannot let it go, it's going to eventually harm you. Why? Because you're going to miss opportunities that could be right there in front of you because you're having a hard time letting go of whatever rejected you or whoever rejected you. You're gonna end up in a place where people are not going to like being around you because you're always talking about the thing that you were rejected from versus looking at what could be happening for you on the flip side of things. So when you're in a spot where you cannot truly let it go, and I think that goes hand in hand too with forgiveness. So it is, and I want y'all to like hear this clearly. Like forgiveness is never about the other person. It is never about you walking up to a person that wronged you and saying like, I just need to tell them that I forgive them. That ain't helping you. And it ain't helping them either. Because 9 times out of 10, they could care less whether you forgave them or not. They had already moved on. You're harboring those feelings. You're struggling with it on the inside. And so forgiveness is never about the other person. Forgiveness is about you and how you're able to move past whatever it is that happened. And rejection is one of those things. So when you start to feel rejected and you start harboring onto those like ill feelings or you just can't move past it, you're hurting yourself. Again, you're gonna miss a lot of opportunities because you can't let go. So that's when you know it's harmful. Sorry. I'm going, hey Val.
No,
You
that
got
was
that.
really
That was good.
good.
That was good.
Put
That
some more
was really
bars, more
good.
bars, more golden bars.
Yeah, more
I don't
bars.
think we
Get that
got no
diamond.
more.
I'm
You
out of bars, y'all. We ain't got
look.
our diamonds yet. Look.
I told you, bro. You need to find them diamonds. We need to be like Rihanna. Dollars in the sky. Come on,
Shine bright like a
like a
diamond.
diamond. Come
Yes,
on.
because you are shining. That was such a good message. Yes, letting go comes with so many factors. Like that's for everybody. Like it builds so much hate. Like you're over here creating plans to hurt somebody, or you're putting yourself in a position where you don't even know who you are. Like, no, I used to be so happy, so joyful. Why am I thinking about, hurting this person? Or why am I thinking about like saying these harmful things to this person? It's like, you're not that character. I totally agree. And see, I didn't even think about that. That's why I thought, like, hey, that's a really good question to ask because we don't really talk about that. We don't usually talk about, like, when it comes to forgiving that person, we need to forgive ourselves. Like, it's not about you talking to the person to be like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. I got rejected. It's like, no, you need to be okay with that as well. I like that. You just
Yeah,
made me want to
because
write that down.
you never want to self-sabotage
Exactly.
because
Oh
that's a
my
really
gosh.
that's like um an easy path to fall down into. So definitely, whether it's because of your hatred for the other person or for what organization, whatever it may be, or for yourself even. Um, and also it's like you can also fall into that sunken cost like situation where you're like, oh, I put so much time and so much effort, and now it bit me, and now I'm like angry about it. So sometimes it's like let have of course have that time to be angry, feel your emotions because you don't want to bottle it up, like running it back to what we had before. But at the same time, sometimes it's just gotta be water off a duck's back. It's just gotta be like it's gotta let it go. Gotta let it go for yourself, for everyone else around you. It's find healthy alternatives to handle your emotions, whether it's be journaling, talking to somebody. For me personally, I'm Christian, so sometimes I just sit in my room and be like, God, this is what happened to me, and like I'm your daughter. We need to talk. That's just for me personally. If my mom is
My
not
girl said,
here,
Jesus, take the wheel.
mhm,
Literally,
that's just me.
literally. I agree.
And to your point about self-sabotage, I will say this. Any sabotage is self-sabotage.
Mm.
Sabotage in general is sabotage, self-sabotage. Because it will only go back on you.
That is true, Lamar. Because when
Look,
you sabotaging somebody else, you definitely sabotage yourself in
oh,
between.
just see, if you trying to shoot them in the foot, you shoot yourself in the leg.
Mm.
You might even shoot yourself twice. You might shoot yourself in the leg and the arm. You might do yourself a double.
That's I mean
You're gonna do
that's
yourself
real
worse.
though. That's real. That is very real. So it is true. So we got to be careful what we're doing to other people and how we're projecting energy out to others because the energy we put out there is the energy we receive
Come back.
back.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. That's real.
Whatever you put out there comes back 3 times, whether it be
And
good
you,
or negative.
100. Yep.
would you say that you holding that rejection, would you be also getting misery out of that if you don't let it go?
Misery loves company,
Yes.
baby.
Definitely
Look,
does.
look, there is this song, and I love the song. It said, "Pain is inevitable and misery is a choice." That is one of the truest statements
Mm.
I've ever heard.
What song that is, Lamar?
It's literally called "Pain is Inevitable." I'm gonna show you that on the way to the police. But
Who
Yeah, I
sang
gotta
that?
hear that.
Who sang
hmm?
that?
Daniel
Who
Caesar,
sing?
Daniel
Who?
Caesar, Daniel Caesar.
I like Daniel
Okay.
Caesar.
See, Daniel
Okay.
Okay.
Caesar. Look, yeah.
Okay. Well,
When I
shout
tell you,
out Dan.
That
that
might be
man's
in the
real name is
meetings
Ashton.
song for
Dan, the
tomorrow.
man with the plan.
I
Oh,
need that song. I need that song.
Where did you spawn from?
I
now where
need
did he
that.
spawn from?
Yes, I need that song. I love everything that you all was saying. Um, if y'all don't mind, I can add. I know I'm a little late. I was stuck on another one. The one thing, and I was just talking about this in another live, when it comes to misery, when it comes to like everything that we talked about, you all talked about, the reason why people fall short so many times, they never actually go meet the future them. They never go meet the future them. And if we were to able to just close our eyes and take a moment and embrace and go meet the future us and hug the future us and really embrace and understand that the future us went over the regret, the misery, the heartaches, the pain, everything. They overcame so much. And now look, now we let the future us go and go back to where we are. Every day we know we're going, we're driving with a purpose. So the moments that someone disappoints us, hey, it's supposed to happen. It happened. Okay, great. I know where I'm going. I know that there's a better me. I know that I'm evolving. I know that I'm becoming a. I know who I'm supposed to be. I know where I am. I embrace the future me. And when you're in that moment, and I was just saying this, you got to make sure. And I ran track. When you're in that moment and you're meeting the future you have to make sure you stay on task, stay on point. Because in track, when you look to the right, you end up losing. When you look to the left, you end up losing. When you're worried about everything else, at moments when you're supposed to level up, you don't hand off the baton correctly. So you end up losing, dropping the baton according to destination, and you already know what success looks like. You know what the goal, you know where you're trying to get to. Just stay on point, because your race is not Abby's race or Lamar's race. It's your race. Run your race and keep going. Don't worry about who's beside you, because when it's all said and done, you beat your personal record. And if that means you beat everybody else, great. If you didn't, still great, because you're evolving to being a better you. Run your race. And when that happens, everything that comes about, all the pain and all the heartaches and those moments during practice, that's setting you up for when you get to the finish line. Just get to the finish line. Just get there.
First of all, I'm mad that Malcolm done came in here and dropped the mic at the tail end of the show. Look, y'all caught the mic drop like rude. Then not only did he do that, I ain't got nothing else to put in this collection plate. Now I gotta have money butterflies like going up on the screen because I ain't got nothing else to add to the plate. We got you, Mal. You better come through and give them a word.
Look, but now I'm gonna catch that mic and I'm gonna drop it again on my end, because let's say you were slower running, right? But it's okay. It's okay, because some races take time. Some races take time. Some races take longer than some of the fast ones. And that's okay. If you run it at your own pace, that's fine. You don't gotta beat the person in front of you. You don't gotta beat the person beside you. You don't gotta stay in the front and keep ahead of the people behind you. As long as you get there.
Okay.
Look.
Look
There's
at
like
y'all.
there was like this thing where like in horse racing, um, where obviously they have like the blinders here. And I had someone explain to me they have those blinders so they can focus on the race and go for it, but not worry about what's next to them. I sometimes like, you gotta keep those blinders. Like, it doesn't matter if Susie Sue is already finished with whatever she's doing. It doesn't matter if this person is doing whatever they're doing, just focus on you and whatever who finishes their finishes line, whenever it doesn't, just keep doing what you got to keep doing. And I want to add this one little quote from one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Kung Fu Panda. It's from Master Oogway.
Of
Yesterday is
course.
history.
Yes.
Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that is why it's called a present.
Wow.
Inner peace.
Wow.
Dinner,
I
please.
love this.
And guess what? I'm about to
That's
get dinner, please. Thank you. Thank you.
what a great closing on that. What a great, 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 great closing on that. I love that quote as well. You ate that. Girl, you ate that. Wow, this was such a good topic for today. Honestly, such a good topic. But honestly, before we wrap it up for this conversation, we got to shift to talking about growth and seeing it to action. Because this month theme is all about rejection, how it shapes us, how it challenges us, and teaches us how to move forward with confidence. However, our youth program ambassadors are taking that message one step further by connecting it to real life relationships and real life choices. So now we're going to pass the mic again to one of our youth program ambassadors to share what we've been working on and how you can get involved.
You already know who it is.
Wait, am I doing it or is
Oh,
Lamar
no,
doing
I
it?
got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mine. Okay. Look, I already know it's Lamar Allen with Youth Program Ambassador. And I've come to tell y'all, let's talk real quick. Rejection can hit hard, especially when it comes from people we care about. Whether it's a breakup, being ignored, or realizing someone isn't treating you right, rejection can make you question your worth. But here's the truth. Rejection is not the same as disrespect. And love should never make you feel afraid, controlled, or less than. That's why February matters so much. It's Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and our advocacy initiative is all about helping teens recognize the difference between healthy love and harmful behavior. And we're doing it in a way that's actually fun. Jeopardy in the Name of Love is happening on Sunday, February 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. at Hart Memorial Library. Join us for a fun, interactive Jeopardy-style experience where teens and families will learn about healthy relationships, red flags, and real love. Plus prizes and powerful conversations that you won't want to miss. Knowing when to walk away isn't failure, it's strength. And if you're looking to grow even more this month, here's what's coming up. On Saturday, February 7th at 12 p.m., we got Color You. That's this Saturday. An art-based an art-based mental health event where we explore emotions, coping skills, and self-expression in a creative and supportive space. Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m., QPR suicide prevention training. Learn how to recognize warning signs, ask the right questions, and prevent suicide. You'll receive a 1-year certification. Wednesday, February 18th at 6 p.m., mock interviews. This is all part of our Survival Spark series. Practice real interview skills with feedback to help you feel confident and prepared for future opportunities. Get your jobs. We try to get employed now. Get your money. Saturday, February 21st at 12 p.m., we had the virtual QPR training. Same lifestyle and skills, just online. Perfect. You can't attend in person. So you're busy that day. You can still get your certification. Saturday, February 28th at 9:30 a.m. Youth Mental Health First Aid Certification. This training teaches you how to support young people in a mental health crisis. It includes a 3-year certification. February is about growth, confidence, and knowing your worth, and we want you a part of it. You can register at events at www.stepsfoundation.org/events and follow us at social media at Steps Foundation. Let's pass it over back to our host.
So for February, how to handle rejection and move forward positively. Rejection can feel personal, painful, and even paralyzing, but it doesn't get that final say. What does? Resilience, self-worth, and growth. This month, we're leaning into that hard stuff. We're talking about the sting of rejection, the importance of knowing your worth, and how every no can lead to a greater yes. It's important that we remind ourselves that setbacks are setups for something stronger, and that how we bounce back says more about us than any obstacle we face. So as you move forward, remember, you are not your missed opportunity. You are not your lowest moment. You are your resilience, your purpose, your brave next step. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and most of all, keep showing up for yourself with grace, confidence, and courage. Now, to close us out, I'm Dana Ortega. It's been an honor wrapping this up at this amazing and powerful message with you. Thank you for being part of Talk Tuesday this month. Remember, the power of positivity is always within you. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, stay true to yourself, stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep leading the way. Bye.